The Dunblane massacre was a devastating event that took place on March 13, 1996, in the small town of Dunblane, Scotland. It was one of the deadliest mass shootings in British history and had a profound impact on the nation's laws and society. Background. Thomas Hamilton was born on May 10, 1952, in Glasgow, Scotland. He had a troubled early life. His mother, unmarried at his birth, later remarried, and Thomas was brought up by his maternal grandparents. He took their surname, Hamilton. Thomas had a keen interest in youth organizations and ran various boys' clubs and youth groups over the years. However, numerous allegations of inappropriate behavior led to his dismissal from the Boy Scouts in 1974 and increasing isolation from the community. Despite concerns and complaints about his conduct, Hamilton legally owned several firearms, including the 4 he used in the massacre. The day of the massacre. On the morning of March 13, 1996, Thomas Hamilton set out with a deadly plan that would leave an indelible mark on the small town of Dunblane and the world. He left his home in Stirling around 8:15 a.m., driving his white van to Dunblane Primary School. Hamilton was heavily armed, carrying 4 legally owned handguns, 2 9mm Browning HP pistols and 2.357 Magnum Smith & Wesson revolvers. He also carried 743 rounds of ammunition in his pockets and a rucksack. Upon arriving at the school around 9:30 a.m., Hamilton parked his van near a telegraph pole close to the school's gymnasium and used pliers to cut the telephone wires, intending to delay any calls for help. He then made his way to the school entrance, carrying his weapons and ammunition. Hamilton entered the school through a side door, heading directly to the gymnasium where a class of 28 children, aged 5 to 6, was having a physical education lesson with their teacher, Gwen Mayer. The gymnasium, a large, open space with limited exits, provided little opportunity for escape once Hamilton began his attack. At approximately 9:35 a.m., Hamilton burst into the gym and immediately started shooting. His first shots were aimed at the children nearest to him. Panic and chaos ensued as the children and their teacher tried to seek cover. Gwen Mayer tried to shield the children and move them to safety, but she was shot and killed almost instantly. Hamilton moved methodically around the gym, firing 105 shots in total. The children, small and vulnerable, had little chance to escape. Some tried to hide behind gym equipment, while others were caught in the open. The noise of gunfire echoed through the school, alerting other staff members who immediately called emergency services and tried to help the children. The attack lasted less than 5 minutes but resulted in the deaths of 16 children and their teacher, Gwen Mayer. An additional 15 children were injured, some critically. The entire scene was one of horror and devastation. After the shooting spree, Hamilton turned one of his handguns on himself and committed suicide, ending the rampage. Immediate aftermath. The immediate aftermath of the massacre was chaotic and heart-wrenching. Emergency services arrived quickly, and the injured were rushed to hospitals. The scene at the school was one of utter devastation, with children's bodies lying in the gym and the wounded crying out for help. Parents who had not yet learned the fate of their children rushed to the school, desperate for news. News of the massacre spread rapidly, plunging the small town of Dunblane and the entire nation into shock and mourning. The scale of the tragedy stunned the nation. The community of Dunblane, a small and close-knit town, was thrown into deep mourning. Vigils were held, and messages of support poured in from around the world. Queen Elizabeth II and Prime Minister John Major visited Dunblane to pay their respects and offer condolences. Public and political reaction. The massacre triggered a nationwide debate on gun control. The Snowdrop campaign was initiated by the bereaved families and local community members, calling for a total ban on private handgun ownership. The campaign rapidly gained public support, reflecting widespread anger and a desire for action to prevent such tragedies. Legislative changes. The UK government responded to the public outcry with significant legislative changes. 2 key pieces of legislation were passed in 1997. 1. Firearms Amendment, Act 1997 ***. This act banned the private ownership of handguns above .22 caliber. 2. Firearms Amendment, No. 2, Act 1997 ***. This act extended the ban to include .22 caliber handguns, effectively prohibiting the private ownership of all handguns in Great Britain. These laws made the UK's gun control measures among the strictest in the world. The legislation also included measures to improve the tracking and security of legally owned firearms. Impact on gun control debate. The Dunblane massacre had a profound impact on the global gun control debate. It demonstrated the potential for legislative action in the wake of tragedy and became a case study in effective gun control. The UK's response showed how public pressure and advocacy could lead to substantial policy changes. In the years following the massacre, the UK saw a significant reduction in gun-related crimes and no further school shootings of this magnitude. The strict gun laws established in response to Dunblane have been cited in international discussions on gun control, influencing policies in other countries. Memorials and remembrance. The victims of the Dunblane massacre have been remembered in various ways. Dunblane Primary School established a memorial garden to honour the children and their teacher. Another memorial garden was created in the grounds of Dunblane Cathedral, where an annual memorial service is held. These memorials serve as places of reflection and remembrance for the families and the community. The tragedy also inspired numerous charitable initiatives aimed at supporting children and promoting gun safety. Long-term effects and legacy. The long-term effects of the Dunblane massacre are deeply felt in the UK and beyond. The event remains a powerful reminder of the consequences of gun violence and the importance of strict gun control measures. The Snowdrop campaign's success demonstrated the impact of collective action and public advocacy. The legislative changes brought about by the massacre have been credited with preventing similar incidents in the UK, maintaining public safety, and reinforcing the importance of gun control. Survivors and the families of the victims have become advocates for gun control and child protection, working to ensure that such a tragedy never occurs again. The massacre also influenced the way schools and communities approach security and child protection, leading to increased awareness and improved measures to safeguard children. Conclusion. The Dunblane massacre was a turning point in the UK's history, leading to profound changes in gun control legislation and societal attitudes towards firearms. The tragedy highlighted the devastating impact of gun violence on innocent lives and galvanized a nation to take action to prevent such events in the future. Through remembrance, advocacy, and strict laws, the legacy of Dunblane continues to shape a safer society. The community's resilience and the nation's commitment to honoring the memory of the victims underscore the enduring impact of this tragic event.